I'm in my basement, and today I'm going to take you on a walkthrough of my finished basement. But before I do so, I'd like to point out what I moved into several years ago. This is a poured concrete wall. On the upper half of the basement wall, there's fiberglass insulation, pink fiberglass insulation, then there's white fiberglass insulation. Again, my entire basement looked like this. Now, it looks like this. Above me is a 5-inch pot light. Over there to my left is another 5-inch pot light. Do you see that 8-inch drop? Well, behind that wall is a steel I-beam. There's a total of 3 steel I-beams. Holds the structure. Serves as a structural support. Supports the main level of the house. I want you to point out one of the windows. All of my windows, namely the window sills, is cut from this large 4x8 sheet. Now, the reason I bought this is because it's 100% moisture proof as well as waterproof. Now, I was able to cut the 4x8 sheet into manageable strips for my windowsill using this table saw, using my 10-inch fine-toothed blade. It's an 80 tooth. It's able to cut plastic up to a 1/4-inch thick aluminum or copper. The cut is superb. I had bought this from our local Home Depot. Walking another 10 feet back. Again, above me, you can see the other 8-inch drop down. That is the second I-beam. Between both I-beams, this is a bulkhead. I wanted to avoid the drop down, then up, then a run, drop down and pick up again. I just created one large ceiling bulkhead. I thought this was definitely the better approach. Walking further back, you can see there's 4-inch pot lights. There's the third structural support. Walking into this final section, there are more 4-inch pot lights. I've littered the ceiling with pot lights. Now this serves as my entertainment area. It's run by power amplifier bought at our local specialty stereo shop from FM Audio Video here in Brantford. It powers up that 6-inch speaker, as well as another one. And that is the front right speaker. There is the rear left, then there's the rear right, for a total of so in effect I have a stereo 5.0 stereo system. Now these speakers are rated as the top 10. It is a Polk speaker. They're 6-inch Polk speakers, Polk. They go quite loud, but yet it retains the clarity. I find that they're great speakers. I'd like to show this out to you though. You see that cutout? I did so purposely. Above that is my kitchen sink. Now, several years ago, I actually had a clogged sink. By going downstairs, going to my P-trap, unthreading the drain, I was able to remove food particles, and whatever hairs may have been there. Closed it off, and then the sink was able to run perfectly fine again. In the event that should I have to do this in the future, to avoid damaging the ceiling, I chose to buy a trap door. Unfortunately, I was forced to buy this online, but it makes it the best approach for being able to reach hard, impossible to reach areas. Fortunately, this one area is unfinished. So this gives me an opportunity to show you what's behind this wooden structure. Now again, that is more poured concrete. You may not be able to see this, but behind this wall is poured concrete. And then there's the wooden structure. The studs are spaced at 16 inches. They're at 16-inch centers. And what I had done, I want you to pay attention to this. I had built a wall 1 inch away from the poured concrete wall. The reason being, you see, cement constantly gives off moisture. To avoid the moisture getting into the wooden structure, I gave it a 1 inch gap. The 1 inch gap allows for the moisture to dry off and the air is between the two. So never being in contact with wood, ensuring that the wood will always remain dry. Between that, there's fiberglass insulation. Below that, below grade, I chose to go with a stone fibered insulation. The advantage is if it ever gets wet and then dry again, it will always retain its R value. Unlike the fiberglass insulation, once it gets wet, it'll collapse in on itself, making it virtually useless. And in a lot of the times, people end up just throwing that away. Unlike the stone fibered insulation, it's something that you can keep virtually your lifetime. And then I put a plastic vapor barrier, followed by tuck tape, which is this. This is superb, by the way. It's for sticking on plastic. It's very strong adhesive. Highly recommended. I fill the gaps again with the fiberglass insulation below grade with the stone fibered insulation. Then I place a vapor barrier using tuck tape to close the seams, ensuring the cold air stays behind the wall, keeping the warmth inside. And finally, behind this closed door, this is a more of a unfinished basement, pardon me. I'm sorry. Like the walls, the floor is a poured concrete. On top of the concrete floor, I've put a plastic membrane. If you notice, the plastic membrane is dimpled. Purpose is it allows a little bit of an air gap. So again, the plastic membrane will stop moisture from reaching the room, but the dimples allows an airflow, ensuring that whatever moisture there is will dry. And then I've sealed the seams with tuck tape. And then above the plastic membrane, I've put plywood. Code calls for 1/2 inch. I went with the 5/8. It was more sturdy, more of a solid flooring. This concludes my basement walkthrough. If you have any questions, please text your questions below and it will answer your questions. I hope this video had helped you as a do-it-yourselfer. Bye.